I'm just at my last sentence. In any case, if the tax cuts are to be sustained, substantial cuts in government spending are on the way, and the paradox is that this is the opposite of what is required for a credible growth plan.
My Lords, I'm delighted to welcome Baroness Gohir and congratulate Baroness Neville-Rolfe. One thing that's growing is the strong women brigade in here. I also welcome one aspect of this debate and move away from a focus on redistribution of a shrinking national cake. And yes, the answer is to bake a bigger cake. I'm glad so many now profess that they are pro-growth, because until recently, those of us arguing for economic development faced lectures that growth was unsustainable, irresponsible, damaging for the environment, a recipe for greedy consumerism, and so on. My problem is that the growth plan measures announced are flimsy and insubstantial. The problems we face, and I disagree with Baroness Smith of Newham here, were foreseeable, but they were denied by all sides politically. Those problems are far greater than the government or the opposition seem to even be acknowledging now. If only they could be fixed through the prism of tax, cutting or increasing. I've no doubt that the mini-budget was a trigger for the present crisis, but we need to be honest, it's not the cause of Britain's woes. Our stagnated, unproductive economy has deep roots of many years standing. For more than a decade, central banks have turned to easy monetary policies and vast amounts of quantitative easing to keep interest rates near zero and prop up and sustain a zombie economy. And this wasn't called out by politicians. This couldn't have gone on indefinitely. And of course, closing down the UK economy for 2 years during lockdown, that received all party support, and of course now the war in Ukraine, has brought the UK's economy's underlying fragilities to the fore. But the idea that tax cuts is an easy answer is pitifully inadequate, let alone those who blame Brexit. That's just pathetic. Without things being produced, then there's no wealth being created to generate incomes, profits, tax revenues to pay for public spending. So production is the key. But is the idea of the tax cuts that business people, corporates, the wealthy capitalists will spend their untaxed windfalls productively? Why would we think that? Since the 1980s, business has not been short of funds to invest, but has not been entrepreneurial, has not invested in innovation, better technologies, the skills revolution. Instead, corporate culture itself has become risk-averse, playing safe, playing with financial engineering. So the way I see it is a furious public aren't just in terror about the short term, their bills and mortgages, but they are also dismayed at the lack of meat on the bone of the plans. Take the energy policy, the energy that we'll need to fuel growth. There's no point the government shouting loudly, "Let's frack," and then whispering with local consent and continually reaffirming their net zero targets. Green growth in reality means unreliable energy and eco-austerity. Let's get on with nuclear power. Let's get on with building those houses. At the moment, it's all sound bites. Never mind subsidising old industries. Where's the concrete plans to invest in new sectors with new jobs, new energy solutions? The spirit of risk, courage and experimentation we need to create a new industrial revolution is the long-term that we need, but is sorely lacking, and I think that's what the public needs to hear more of. The public aren't fools. They instinctively know there's no pain-free route out of this. So we need some frank talking, a collective approach to solving problems beyond party politics. A huge transformation is needed in the economy, and everybody needs to be involved in shaping it. I think that just the words growth, growth, growth are not enough. A lot more needs to be done. We have to be humble and recognise that we have to take a lead on